Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Fossil Huntress podcast. In today's episode, I want to talk about the rules of the road, the rules around collecting fossils, particularly in the province of BC and in Canada and around the rest of the world. Yesterday in the Fossil Forum, I posted a piece on the Trent River for a fellow named Paul Logan, and John Key wrote in and asked what the rules on collecting are. And I ended up putting those into the post because it's an excellent question, and it's not completely clear depending on where you live. Back in the early 2000s, fossils in the province of British Columbia were under the Minerals Act. So if you had beautiful Eocene fossil specimens at Maccabee, they were actually following the rules for kitty litter for the province, and that didn't really work. So folks were placing mineral claims on spots. So see this a lot in Tanglefoot and the Upper Cambrian sites around Cranbrook. Maccabee, Dave Langevin, when he first put the claim on that site, it was a mineral claim. And so that didn't really work for the province. So there's what the law is, and then there is what is done. So in 2011, the Land Act was altered to include fossil resources for the province. So the Land Act, which is Ministry of Forests, Lands, and Natural Resources, brought the ownership and custodianship of fossils under their umbrella. And what they did was they took a little piece of the rules for archaeology, refitted them slightly, and put that into law. So if you find a fossil in the province of British Columbia, it belongs to the province. If you find it on Crown land, if you find it on private land, it's still under the provincial granting as a resource. So, rules of the road. If you find a vertebrate fossil, something with a backbone, something with spines and bones, you want to give the good folks at the Royal BC Museum a call, or you can reach out to the Courtney Museum. Pat Trask is there. If you reach up to the Cranbrook Museum, if you're up in the Kootenays, Guy Sanducci is a geologist in the area and associated with them. If you're in the north, perhaps check in with Prince George or Tumbler Ridge. But if you find a vertebrate material, you want to report it for two reasons. One, it's the law, but two, somebody will be very excited to write that specimen up. So you may have an opportunity to have that one named after you. So within the province of BC, we have beautiful terrestrial and marine resources. So these outcrops have trees and leaves and fish and marine reptiles. So you want to report anything with bone to the province. For the inverts, things like little bits of shelly materials, sometimes they're common. So down on the southern end of Vancouver Island near Souk, there's an outcrop at Muir Creek, and there's tons and tons of shell goodies. And you don't need to report every one of those, and you also don't need to collect every one you find. Leave something for someone else. But those shelly bits you don't need to report. But if you collect them and take them home, so surface collecting only, you do not own them. You cannot sell them. You cannot take them out of the province. You can't take them out of the country. They belong to the province. So those are the general rules. And then there's what's done. So always follow the rules, but sometimes the rules give direction, but they're unclear. So if you find some beautiful fossils and they are common, and you know they're common, and you're linked in enough to the fossil community to know that what you found is a beautiful little gastropod and it's super, super common, note that where you found it and put it in your collection. If you find something unusual, if you find something and it's a new ammonite, a little coiled cephalopod, or a little shell, or a leaf, or something that just feels a little bit other or a little bit unusual, definitely connect with someone at a provincial museum or with one of the regional paleo societies and show it to them, because you may also have found something new, and those working in that area of research would be very interested to hear about that. For the province of BC, we have a number of regional societies, and I'm going to go over those in our next episode. So thanks for joining me. If you'd like to read the BC Fossil regulations or get in touch with the BC Fossil Management Office, I've put links on the blog. So if you head on over to Archaea, so that's fossilhuntress.blogspot.com, and if you're looking at it on your laptop or desktop, on the right-hand side, I've put a bunch of resources in there. And under the title BC Fossil Research and Regulations, you'll find a number of links to our provincial offices and contact information for them. If you're in the rest of the world, I recommend a good Google search to connect with those who know the law in your area and so that you can keep yourself safe. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.